So who are you?
My name's Josh Tabin, and I'm the CEO of PrismaStar Software.
Yeah, and we're here in Cambridge, England.
Yes, that's true.
And I didn't expect to see a killer search engine in Cambridge, England.
Okay.
But one reason I wanted to have you on Building 43 is you're helping small businesses. Well, tell me what's happening.
Well, I have a second title. In addition to CEO, I'm also the Chief Techthusiast. And the reason is that I basically love technology. I've always been a fan of the latest techno toy, and I've always found it extremely difficult to find what I'm looking for on the internet. And about 5 years ago, I did some research, and I talked to some university professors, and I asked them, what's wrong with internet search today? Of course, it didn't take much analysis to see that getting hundreds of pages of results or 0 results found was a problem. Caused people to get frustrated and to basically leave e-commerce sites and go and do research on other websites, and that wasn't very efficient. And so figured that we could solve that problem with software. And so we came up with the idea for PrismaStar, a product that we call AnswerOil. And 4 years later, we finally have built it, and we've turned it on and discovered that it actually works. So that's what we're going to see today.
Very cool. And so what results are you already have signed up in the first few months, several major,
yes.
Well, several camera stores in the United States and here in Europe.
Yeah, and other products as well.
And other products. Yeah. What kinds of results are they seeing because of your technology?
We're seeing click-through rates increase, we're seeing conversion rates increase.
Give me some specific numbers that you know, if you can.
Yeah, big numbers, like 30–40% increases in sales conversion rate. We're seeing 20 to 30% decreases in time to purchase, and we're actually seeing increases in average order size too. Although, to be honest, I'm not sure why that's happening. We're seeing all the right metrics when shoppers use our search tool as compared to the baseline website. It works better. The retailers are more profitable.
Now,
ultimately.
Why are you seeing these results?
Basically because people are finding what they want on the e-commerce website without having to leave and do research elsewhere, without having to read reviews or do other kinds of comparison shopping.
Can you give me an example of a site that you've changed and show me the old version and the new version?
I could talk for a long time and it won't do as much as 30-second demos. So this is basically the way it works. This is our first U.S. client. They're called Calumet Photo. Yeah, we actually buy equipment from them.
Yeah,
and this is their old page for digital cameras, and you can see we've got almost 500 results across too many pages to count, and most people start their product search here. You can see that they've got a few different ways to sort: category, brand,
and this is the old way.
That's the old way.
You can see there's too many results.
Yeah.
And the similar results aren't necessarily next to each other.
Yeah, often true. So.
And comparing a small group of cameras, like if I want a Canon 5D and I want to compare it to a Nikon N700, it's very hard to filter it down to just those few kinds of SLRs, right?
Yeah. Sometimes you can compare one camera to another, but just to find similar cameras based on the features that are important to you is often difficult. So that's what we fix. So I'll show you the way the new Calumet camera search will work. It's live currently on the Calumet photographic site, and it looks like this. Basically, you can start out by choosing whatever features are important to you. Now, the most common one people usually start with is price. They say, I want inexpensive cameras. So if I just say price is important, you might expect it's going to show me the cameras that are least expensive, basically ordered by price.
Okay.
I'm going to turn off price, and I'm going to turn on, let's pretend for this example you're looking for something that's very thin. So I'm going to turn on thickness, and now it's sorted by the thinnest camera first, second thinnest, and so on. That's also pretty common, to sort by one feature or another. Now what you can't do without AnswerOil is I can sort by both thickness and price. So I'm going to show you the thinnest, least expensive cameras. There they are. And so that's unusual. That's what we do. I can say I want a thin, inexpensive camera that's also maybe that pretty pink or red color. Whoops. Yep. And now you're going to see inexpensive, thin, red and pink cameras. So there it is. That's basically nobody else can do that in the world right now. The other thing,
you can really see why you're getting better conversion rates, because now you've keyed in on very specific features and a group of cameras, and you see it. The page itself keeps your engagement. Right?
Yeah, I think that's true.
It's there's movement there, which the old page looks like 1994.
Right. We could add other features. For example, let's say here's a touch screen feature. I can turn that on. You can see that the cameras that either have or don't have touchscreen can be in or out of view. We can also...
so what are the sliders for?
Well, we can prioritize the search attributes. So for example, right now we have a thin red and pink camera that's inexpensive. I can say I want something that's a bit less expensive. I can increase the preference for price, or I can decrease the preference for price, and it's dynamically sorting as I do that. I can do that with any of the features, how thin it is, changing the amount of preference that I have for that, or any other feature. We can search on any camera specification that we have in our database. The person can use the sliders to find exactly what they're looking for and define how important that feature might be compared to the others. Now, the reason that it works is that the human brain essentially wants to make a decision based on, you want the perfect product, but it doesn't exist, right? Otherwise it would be free and have every feature. But instead you've got to figure out what's actually more important, where's the compromise that I'm willing to make. And it was sort of doing this in my mind when I first realized, oh, there's got to be some sliders and they have to be interconnected. At the time that we were developing the technology, there were other search engines that had sliders.
Yeah.
But
early
when I
Microsoft
used it,
Live.com had a slider for some things, but it only had one slider.
Or they were independent sliders. And generally what I do, and I watched other people do, is they just take all the features and all the sliders and they go, "Rrr," and they put them all, everything is important, of course, right? Because you want everything. That's what normally you'd want. Or they make, if that would actually be exactly the same as nothing is important. So the slider is an independent slider mechanism, doesn't really do this help me find the best compromise or trade-off. And when I realized that that didn't exist, that's when we filed the patent. Okay. And we just won the patent last year, and we have worldwide protection now on this interdependent slider mechanism that prioritizes. Well,
since
the
you're
search.
talking about the patent, what else could it be used for? Because we've seen the camera stuff now. Can it be used for other kinds of searching, like what we're familiar with on Google or Microsoft Bing or whatever?
Absolutely. It can work for any product, any service. It could work for credit cards or insurance or financial service. I'll show you another example that's kind of clever. Here's a internet keyword search prototype that we built. The lawyers, the patent lawyers, told us we had to have this online just to prove that it's ours. Very slow and buggy, but it just proves the concept. I typed in 3 words into your internet keyword search here. I've heard that 2/3 of all internet search are multiple keywords. And generally what would happen is you would just get a list of results. These are your results for Robert Scoble at Rackspace.
Yep.
And there are 288 pages of results that we've got here, and you're never going to page through all those results to find what you're looking for. Yep. So instead of Google keeping the control of the search presentation order, we give it back to the user. So we think this is where the future of search is. Let me prioritize the search, Robert Scoble Rackspace. I want more results related to Rackspace. If I just turn up the priority of that, I can bring more relevant results into view for what I'm actually looking for. And this is just another application of our interdependent slider dynamically sorting results. And we think that this is where people want to go. They want control. They don't want opacity. They want transparency. They want to be in control of how they find what they're looking for.
So you're going to be able to build a bunch of different search services using your technology to bring better results.
Absolutely.
And let people reorder things from cameras to Google-style searching.
Right. Yeah. Any
I have a
e-commerce
clothing store or something like that, and I want to
Mm-hmm.
use your technology. How do I do that? How much does it cost? How do I put it on my website? How long did it take Calumet, for instance?
Well, 2 principal ways. One is a direct license. So we go directly to retailers, large retailers like Calumet Photo or Jessup's in the UK. Internet Mall is our largest client, and they pay us a monthly service fee, and we connect all of their products with all their specifications, and we put it all online, and that's the big deal that they get.
Now, what do I need as a retailer or as a business? What do I need to provide to your service to get those search results?
It's just a data feed. So they set up an XML data feed to our servers, and then they put about 10 lines of code on their HTML wrapper, and our search engine shows up wherever they want it to be. And
so I don't need a
very,
team
very
of
easy.
web consultants to build this for me. I just
It's
call you
incredibly
up
easy. Yeah, it usually takes about an hour to get a search engine running once the data is connected.
And what's the fee going to be like? Because I might have a small one store.
Yeah, well, that's the other way that we do it. We also have connected to the data and the products sort of through the back door through something called an affiliate network. So we're working with a few affiliate networks here in the UK. We will soon, or we hope to soon, be doing the same in the US. And we basically have already connected the data then to our system. And then the affiliates, which are the small retailers, all they need to do is log into their affiliate network's configuration page and cut and paste those 10 lines of code into their website, and they can be up and running. And instead of paying us a monthly fee, they would only pay us on a CPA, or a cost per acquisition basis. So when their customers use our search engine to find what they're looking for and they can close a sale and get a commission, they basically just agree to give us a tiny part of their commission. And so
2 weeks ago, we were at Wine Library, a wine store in New Jersey that sells about $50 million a year in wine. If he wanted to put this technology on his website, what's the fee? How do you figure out the fee? Is it a flat fee, or is it based on sales? How do you figure that out?
We would sit down with him, we would try to understand the value that we would create, and we would only want him to pay an amount that he felt comfortable was far less than he would gain from the use of our software.
Okay.
So it's
Very cool.
obviously it's different for each client. One other thing that's an interesting value add that we also provide is not only do the users use the technology to find what they're looking for and convert from a shopper to a buyer more quickly, more reliably, but the other thing that we do is after the fact, we're watching the use of our system while people are interacting with it, and so we can tell the retailers or even manufacturers not only who is buying and what they're buying, but we can tell them exactly why they chose one product versus another. And the reason is that
you could tell Wine Library, oh, everybody's looking at Peruvian wines right now, and moving the slider up on that, right?
Right. Well, I can tell you not just that they're looking at Peruvian wines, but that the fact that it's a Peruvian keyword more than a mine keyword is more important to them. Or in the case of e-commerce, they might be looking for red Canon cameras with Wi-Fi, but the fact is that it's red is much more important than the fact that it's Wi-Fi. And so I can measure the amount of preference that they have relative to the other preferences. I'm essentially capturing a preference profile. I can aggregate that information and give it back to the retailer. And it's very unusual in market research to have that amount of detail. Normally, if you want to dig into a shopper's mind, you have to take them out of the shopping experience and put them into a survey or a focus group, and they're doing something else other than shopping.
So somebody a clothing retailer like Zappos could use that to see trends and then work with manufacturers to come out with even more of what customers want.
Exactly.
So if you knew that everybody was biasing toward wanting a red camera, now you could work with Canon to come out with a whole line of red cameras that would fulfill that demand better.
Exactly, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And where do we learn more about this?
www.PrismaStar.com is our website, and my name is Josh, and I'm happy to talk to anybody about how we can help them.
Very cool.
Okay, thanks, Robert.